And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fated Continuum, the Legendary Journeys. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra, and with me is, of course, my good brother here in the temple, the master of the Wanderer's Library, good brother Sig.
We're coming to explore Evil East, finally!
Yeah, and I'm probably still going to get bitched at because I'm not covering tactics yet. Don't worry, tactics will come. It's just not yet.
Yeah, I mean, it is part of the same world, but it's more in the future than where we are going to be looking at today.
Mm-hmm. So, some might go, wait, this is the 11th episode and you're going straight to 12? Yes.
Yes.
I have made the decision to save the MMOs for last for two reasons. One of them, the sheer volume of content. There's a lot of shit you gotta go through since you're dealing with not only the amount of content in the base game, but multiple expansions and patches and repatches. And two, if I were to go back and play 11 now or 14 now, even if I'm just playing the baseline content, I am playing the baseline content after years of patching and adjustments.
Yeah, and a lot has changed. That's kind of why I left 14.
Mm-hmm. And it's the same vein as why a while back I did a retrospective on the Halo games, and I had said with Halo, covering Halo 4 is tricky because playing it now is not the same as playing it during its first year, because one of the big problems that happened with multiplayer was slowly patched out. That
I
being
didn't like
Ordnance.
Halo 4, if I'm being honest.
I liked and hated it. There were certain elements with the story I liked. Um, I think the there's nothing. It's not broken. There's just a bunch of stuff that doesn't mesh, largely because you had a bunch of people from different studios.
Hmm.
You had some people from Zipper Interactive, some people from Slant Six, some people from Infinity Ward, some people from Retro Studios. You know, you've got a bunch of you have what was supposed to be an all-star team. Oh, but the problem is they all come from different design styles and design philosophies, which is why a bunch of
Lord,
things
no
don't
wonder it
mesh.
was such a mess.
Um, and I remember, and one thing that was emblematic was at a GDC talk, it was brought up how they had redesigned the Promethean Knight 3 times from the ground up. And originally they were going to have like 7 different enemy types for the Prometheans. They had to trim
Mhm.
it. They had to trim it down for various reasons. The fact that they wanted to do so many at the start was a red flag. But the point is that I would need to bring people in who were there during those changes in order to get a better picture of things. Especially with that fucking absolute virtue abomination,
Hmm.
which I believe will go down as the worst hidden boss of any FF. I know some of you are about to bring up certain names. And I'm like, nope, they're not as bad. But
I still have to get farther in freaking 11. I haven't played it for a bit because I just haven't had the time.
mm-mm. But when it comes to 12, 12 had as part of the was part of the Evil East Alliance project, which was basically them trying to do what was already done with compilation of FF7, um, just with Evil East instead.
Hmm.
Um, I think the other projects involved with that the War of the Lions remake of Tactics, which was a pretty damn good port. The only real
Let's see.
problem was slowdown issues, probably because
Oh
it
yeah,
was
I was about to
calculated.
say. I was about to say the port was not bad. It's just I don't know what happened with it, but it ran so crappily.
I think the slowdown was just due to the limitations of the PSP.
That is fair.
Uh, like the for as much as the PSP could do, it wasn't on the same processing level as a full-on console, even at that time, uh, because handheld.
Yeah.
But which is why you have things like draw distance issues in similar entries, and why something like Crisis Core decides to have more confined areas, and consider the amount of calculation you're doing um, with a strategy RPG as opposed
Hmm.
to an action RPG or a traditional turn-based. Um, that, and I wouldn't be surprised if they had to redo some code from scratch, because code preservation was not really a thing in the 90s. Hi,
Hmm.
Silent Hill, how you doing? The whole we lost the source code was a common problem.
Yeah, it happened with a lot of games I want, especially the Dot Hack series.
Yeah, I know that a new project from CyberConnect is supposedly going to be announced this week. A lot of people are hyping themselves up, thinking it's going to be a .hack project.
I doubt it, but one can only hope.
Um, I would die laughing if they hyped it up as a .hack project and it ends up being a HD re-release of Legend of the Twilight.
Okay.
Just to pull the or I think I talked with my buddy JT on the matter. I said they have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever by announcing a .hack project, but instead of what people think it is, it ends up actually being Silent Bomber.
I don't know what that is.
That was a PS1 game. It was very early in their lifespan. I could also bring up Trail Concerto, which CyberConnect has referenced multiple times, even though it never came stateside. But oh, hold on. Sorry about that. There was a bit of an echo.
No worries.
But with 12 there was some issues that ended up cropping up. One of them is the fact that the original design, the original storyline that was planned, wasn't able to be done because the director had to bow out due to health issues.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, and because of that, basically the latter half of the game had to be reworked. And obviously, this was the second attempt at doing the whole international variant, and while there were some slight changes with the international variant with 10, 12 it was significantly egregious to the point of being its own separate game.
Yep.
Introducing the Zodiac jobs, basically splitting off the giant license board and instead having smaller license boards to represent a kind of job system.
Yep.
But it was supposed to come out 2 years later than it did, and because of the delay, that meant FF13 had to shift over to the PS3. Matsuno, who was one of the guys when it came to Ivalice as a whole, had to leave the project midway through it.
Unfortunate.
Because he was described. I remember some of the remarks saying that he was sick, but it was described as him pissing blood. Supposedly,
yeah, don't like that, no.
Yeah, supposedly one of these. Now, some of the things like leaning towards open worlds and leaning towards gambits were things that were decided early on. One of the early challenges they had was memory capacity, which is always funny to me because I've seen people say multiple times, why is it that there was never an attempt to try and do the transition between field and combat the way there is in Chrono Trigger? Why was that never tried again? The answer is that was a programmer's nightmare because of all the things you have to account for. I saw a similar bit of incredulousness with the Devil Bringer for Nero in DMC4, where they had said we could not have done that on the PS2. And I've seen people go, why couldn't you have done it? It's just a command grab. I'm like, you have to do 2, maybe 3 variants of animations per enemy type.
Yep.
You know, one for the ground, one for the air, and then do that again. Then do that again for the Devil Trigger versions.
Especially with the bosses.
Mm-hmm. And trying to do that on the PS2's hardware would probably make it explode.
Yeah, I was about to say that would have fried it.
You'd have a better chance trying to run No Rest for the Living on the same hardware you ran Doom 2 originally.
Oh hell no, that's gonna be damn near impossible.
Mm-mm. It's gonna end up looking like. Have you ever played Nuts?
No.
Have you ever seen play of the Nuts WAD?
Oh wait, yes, I have. I know what you're talking about.
Mm-mm. I have seen people try and do that on the beefiest of systems, and it still chugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then
once the encounter starts, the frame rate just shits itself.
And then somebody decided, oh, I'm going to make this worse by combining it with the Boom Power mod.
Oh god.
Are you familiar with Boom Power?
That I am not familiar with, but it sounds horrible.
Imagine taking every enemy death and turning it into an exploding barrel.
Good lord.
Now combine that with a slaughter map.
Yeah, the computer's gonna be dead by the end of it.
Yeah, I saw someone do it on a map that it's not exactly a slaughter map, but it's basically used as combat testing. And there were a few moments where he was getting single frames, and this was a top level computer that he had. And then he says, I should load this in Nuts. Yeah, this is a great idea.
I was about to say, no, that was a mistake.
And he got just one frame that held long enough for him to go into the kitchen and make himself lunch. Mm-hmm. He came back and it was still chugging. But now, I will note once again, when it comes to 12, the battle system was another Hiroyuki Ito baby. Oh.
It was good. I don't care what anyone says.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen people lambast the active dimension battle system he made, calling it too MMO-like, which I have to ask the question of whether or not that would be that would be a question that's even brought up if it weren't for how ubiquitous World of Warcraft was at the time. I've said this regarding the MMO argument with with D&D 4th edition of would people be making that argument if it weren't for how ubiquitous World of Warcraft was at the time? Because we're talking 2008.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was when 4th edition came out, and even in 2006, WoW was still pretty ubiquitous.
Yep.
Basically, I think a lot of people who use the MMO argument don't know shit about how MMOs actually work. But trying to do that, and even trying to do the Gambit system, apparently there were concerns about whether or not the PS2 could even pull it off. I mean, technically, an MMO-like battle system was done with the 11 on the PS2, but if you didn't have the HDD add-on for the PS2, you were going to have a hard time. But apparently, originally they were going to do a job system, but they felt the idea of doing a job system and doing the gambit system would have been they felt it would have been overwhelming, which is why the license board thing was brought up. That had a bit of a backlash, and they shifted to the Zodiac job system with the international version, as we saw. There's also the fact that it was not intended for you to be able to get everything for every character.
Mm-hmm.
Which has been said in retrospect that didn't work as planned. Especially given how the most powerful weapon in the game can be missed if you open too many chests.
Yep.
And if you listen close, you can hear Doom 64 speedrunners sneezing in the distance.
Yep.
Also, fuck Hectic.
Yeah, that wasn't a great map.
I just say fuck him on principle for those power-up traps.
Oh yeah. Yep, I remember those.
I mean, I appreciate it's a case of I appreciate the effort, but you're still a dick.
Exactly.
But even with that, I do maintain that the best way to play 12 nowadays is the Zodiac Age. And I know a lot of people hated the Here's a bit of a bone of contention that I have, and Zan has brought this up as well. People bitched up a storm about the Gambit system. And yet, when Dragon Age Origins introduced tactics, they didn't have that same energy.
Hypocritical, that's all it is. Why are you booing? I'm right.
Mm-hmm. I prefer your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Yeah, that works too.
But so with that said, I think it's high time we get into how things ended up working. I will note we will not be trying to emulate the Gambit system. That was never going to happen.
Don't blame you there.
And I think when it comes to espers and quickenings, I think we can try and nail down a rough equivalent with our eidolons.
Yep.
And yeah, you can go in any direction. I think it's clear that there are some directions that are leaned into more than others. I'd also be remiss if I didn't point out that early on, Balthier was supposed to be the protagonist. Vaughn was added later on because apparently some of the reception was people didn't want to play as an old man.
Balthier's not even that old, though.
That was what was said in the report.
People are ridiculous.
Mm-mm. And I've seen plenty remarking that Vaughn is inconsequential to the greater story. I don't fully agree with it. I think given how much of the broad strokes of 12 is channeling Star Wars Episode 1, I think Vaughn was intended to be a Luke Skywalker analog.
Yeah.
And if things had gone the way they originally had planned, you probably would see him go further with that. And you can kind of see that and how his appearance changes from 12 to Tactics A2.
Yep.
You know, he's clearly matured, and you have him as more of the leading man in Revenant Wings, which we'll get to in a bit. But this is where things are going to get tricky, since um, Vaughn is very much meant to be the jack of all trades character.
Yep.
But his initial licenses are command, steel, daggers, and light armor.
Well, he started with a sword. Yep, mithril sword.
Yep. I'm pretty sure I statted him out in Ultimania. Let me see. Yep, I went with Fighter, Thief, and Dynamo.
Mm-hmm.
That
And the joke must be made, oh, you got a license for that, mate?
Yeah, that joke was made plenty.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. And it is mentioned that he has a higher that him, Bosch, and Balthier have higher combo speeds. So especially with the high combo weapons,
Yep.
but it's not that big of a difference.
He has a mithril sword in the original, and somehow has a license to use mithril swords, even though he's only licensed for daggers.
Yeah, so I'd still go with expert as far as class.
Yeah.
First job I think should be thief. I mean, he starts out as he starts out as a thief. I would say I'm fine with keeping Dynamo, but because of the whole Jack of Many Trades thing, I think the third one should be Squire.
Yeah.
I was thinking, should it be Squire or should it be Mimic? But I'm like, no, it's Squire. If we're going, Squire is more of the Jack of all trades leaning.
Yep.
But then there is Pinello.
To Pinello.
Yep. And let's see.
Decent strength, but her magic power kind of follows really closely with that.
Yep. Uses daggers and white magic originally, and in the Zodiac version has first aid as well as mystic armor. So given that, I think I know the approach here. Uh, I'd say mage.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, White mage is one of them.
Definitely.
Second is medic. And I'd say for the third one, uh, this is always where things get a bit tricky. Honestly, I'm thinking Ravager.
Yeah. I was going to say Entertainer because of her quickenings.
Actually, Entertainer might be a better fit. So then we have the leading man, both here.
Ah, yes. The best pirate ever.
Uh,
Charming, dashing, cunning.
apparently, they weren't drawing upon any previous FFs with his design or characterization, but still drawing a bit on Bond.
Mm-hmm.
Although if I was in the conversation when that was brought up, I would have asked which Bond are we talking.
Yes. I don't know. His closest physical analog, I would say, is Brosnan.
Given the timeline, that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He's got high strength.
Let's see. High strength. Oh. There have been a few pirate-themed jobs in the series. We didn't use any of them because that is leaning towards one particular setting no matter what you do.
Yep. Looking at you, Viking in A2.
Mm-mm. Well, Viking was also in 3, though.
Yeah.
All that it was just fighter who can self-berserk, which is why it didn't last long. And I would say the warrior in 14 is basically Viking in all but name.
Yeah. Especially with his freaking armor that you get at level 50.
Mm-mm. So he has access to steel, first aid, guns, shields, and light armor 1 and 2, and heavy armor 1. In Zodiac, just having access to guns and light armor 2. So I know it'd be tempting to go with Dynamo because that originally was called Gunner.
No. Sniper.
Yeah, I am thinking Weapon Master, Sniper, and I'd say for the third one, a part of me wants to go with Noble. But
I mean, he is one, technically speaking, but I kind of disagree because of his way with words. I would say mediator.
yeah. So then we have Fran, who I always saw Balthier and Fran as akin to Han Solo and Chewie, even though Chewie doesn't talk.
Fran does talk and goes berserk when she's exposed to the mist.
Mm-hmm. Which we have accounted for as an optional thing, because what triggers the mist is going to be setting specific.
Exactly.
Which is why it was so vague when it came to the ruling of it. But let's see, as far as initial licenses, we have White and Black Magic, Steel, Bow, and Light Armor 2. As far as jobs go, I think Red Mage is definitely one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Due to her massive freaking weapon pool, especially considering 12, I would say fighter.
mm-hmm. And as far as the third one, given some of her quickenings, I'm actually leaning towards Monk.
Let me see here. I'm totally not biased because I like Evilise and Vieira.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows that's a fucking lie.
Like two of her quickenings are very much martial arts leaning.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Vieira are trained warriors from birth, so...
Shatterheart is the only one that isn't. And I don't think the appearance of Shatterheart is enough to give her Yokai of Shiva.
Yeah.
No, I think it should be Monk.
Yeah, definitely.
So and because of that, I'd say warrior as far as the job.
Yep.
Because even with the magic potential she starts with, she is on the lower end when it comes to raw power with magic. And then we have Bosch von Ronsenberg of Dalmasca. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
No worries.
Apparently Bosch looked significantly different early on.
Yeah, he had a beard apparently.
Like he had a beard. He had a much different look that I could see why this look didn't last, because it does look too knight-ish,
Yeah.
for lack of a better term. Or rather, it looks like an English-style knight, and 12 has a very fertile crescent design,
Hmm.
which incidentally is something that I enjoy about 12.
Yeah, I do. I do like 12's aesthetic as far as the armor designs and everything,
Hmm.
and even some of the monster designs. Like best demon wall I have ever seen.
Although apparently there was a disagreement on how to do the voice when they were doing the whole when they were doing the whole twin thing, which
Mhm.
is a interesting conundrum. Be- Apparently there was a disagreement on how similar to have him and Gabranth sound because they're supposed to be twins. Except just because people are identical twins doesn't mean they're going to have the exact same voice. In fact, it's more often that they're not going to have that. Especially as they get older. But so as far as his setup, warrior is definitely going to be the class we're going with.
Especially considering he starts off with swords and some heavier armor.
Yeah. Uh,
In Final Fantasy XII, he had swords, small swords, axes, and hammers, shields, light armor, heavy armor, and accessories.
mhm.
So, given that repertoire, fighter.
Oh yeah. I'd also say knight, and not just because knight swords was one of his options.
Oh
Um,
yeah, no, I can definitely see that.
uh, let's see, and given some of his quickenings, there's a part of me that wants to lean into Dark Knight.
I mean, fulminating darkness, that kind of makes sense.
Let's see, then the last of the main party, not accounting for guests, is Ash.
Ah, good old Princess Ash.
So let's see here.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at her.
Mhm.
I'm pulling her up now.
Yep.
Alright, so let's take a look at what she has. Not as a support character, but as her original data. So, Let me see here. So her original licenses, she has White Magics 1 and 2, Swords 1 and 2, Shields 1 and 2, Light Armor, Mystic Armor, Heavy Armor 1 and 2, and Accessories 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm. So, quite a bit. Uh,
And that's just the original.
mm-hmm.
And Zodiac, she's still got White Magic, she's still got access to swords, shields, heavy armor, and accessories, but still.
And I know it'd be tempting to go with Red Mage. I do think with what we see of the build, she definitely leans towards Mage.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of Red Mage, I would actually lean towards Scholar.
Yeah. That way she can dip into the Black and White Mage spellbooks without too much penalty.
Mm-hmm.
And considering in the PS2 version she has the highest MP growth.
At the same time, I'd say Noble is definitely the second job.
Mm-hmm.
And even though the Treaty Blade and similar ones can be used by anyone, the one who it's given to is her.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking Crown's Guard.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
And that covers the main cast, but there are a few guests to cover. Starting with Little Larsa.
Ah, yes, the little prince of the empire.
Mm-hmm. So he tends to do the same kind of two-weapon fighting as the judges.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we can't go with much when it comes to his licenses because he's a guest. You don't get that.
Yep. Although, yeah, he does do two-weapon fighting, and he has access to swords, what looks to be lighter armor.
But
and has white magic, green magic, which is a thing in this, and not even black magic. It's more time magic.
yeah, I would say Scholar, but go with it. The closest thing we have to green magic, which is just buff and debuff stuff, would be Illusionist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking Illusionist and Cosmic.
Yep, definitely.
Obviously, Noble.
Yep.
And Dervish.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those as far as class, given those three, honestly, I think it should be Expert.
Mm-hmm. since he's very knowledgeable and basically carries the party through most of their journey.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to Vossler, it's kind of it is somewhat slim pickings with him because he only shows up as a guest twice and a boss once. But let's see.
He gains a Nightmare Greatsword, has heavier armor, and has Soul Eater.
All right, maybe I think there is. I think we do have something here. So I'd say Dark Knight is definitely one we can put on the list.
So I'm assuming we're going with. Let me see. His stats are roughly. I don't know if Adept would fit him though, as far as the class. Because just looking at the stats, his magic power is just a smidge bit lower than his physical strength.
Mm-hmm. I'd say Dark Knight, because things like Wither and Expose definitely feel like break abilities. And Exposes it has the C also armor break, so
So I'm assuming we're going warrior with him.
yeah.
I guess I'm about to say, because from just judging from the looks of it, even though I do agree with the Dark Knight, he doesn't fit the baseline for an adept.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I'd say as far as the third one and what would be equivalent to telekinesis, which is about doing random physical damage with a melee weapon.
But that alone seems like that would just be feats like Blade Beam and shit.
Yeah. And obviously, something like Traveler we can't do for the same reason I'm not doing Calculator when we get to Tactics.
That's gonna be funny as hell to do.
Because Traveler does fixed damage based on the number of steps you've taken. Resetting the counter when it's been used or every 1,000 steps. There is no way I'm putting that in.
But considering step counters have only been used like what, twice in the entire franchise?
That, and there's no way to really do that with the kind of system that Legend Edition is. Hell, even most TTRPGs, you wouldn't want to do that unless you're dealing with the very, very simulationist types, which, again, I have no interest in.
Or unless you're just really, really petty.
Even my pettiness has limits. But I think the third one should actually be Berserker, especially given
because of the high damage output from his abilities.
And the fact that some of his equipment effects activate when he's at critical, and Berserker has a few man too angry to die kind of things.
Yeah, so he's emulating me.
So then Redis, voiced by Phil Lamar, who also voiced your Banga friend early on, and
Awesome.
it is.
It'd be nice to get Phil Lamar in a game of this and have him voice a manga character.
But Redis was fucking great.
The man with the most epic of freaking goatees.
Hmm. So, like a lot of the judges, he does two-weapon fighting. That's kind of a thing with all of the, I'd say, with all the judges.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Two-weapon fighting and transforming weapons seems to be the gimmick of the judges.
All right, let's take a look at his abilities. Got decent armor. Of course, he's got two weapons because, of course, he does. Mm. Decent stats. Definitely an adept. I can see that.
Um, well, given some of the, let
And
me
my
look up.
argument is thus because he has Thousand Needles and some other abilities. Blue Mage.
Yep. Say Blue Mage. I'd say look at this. I think we have to go with Dervish again.
Now, Bone Crusher. I
Uh,
don't even think. I don't think. I don't even think.
Bone
Isn't
Crush.
Bone Crusher's a feat?
Let's see. In 12, it is a technique that can do a one-hit KO at the cost of certain HP. I know it'd be
Mm-hmm.
tempting to go with Dark Knight once again for that. I have a different suggestion. Samurai.
Mm-hmm. I can definitely go with that. Because the way I remember Bone Crusher in Tactics Advance and A2 specifically was it did 1.5 times damage counterattack, which could be utterly devastating with a high strength character.
Mm-hmm.
Although I preferred a more direct approach in Hamido or Strike Back. Completely stop your melee attack and just throw it right back at you.
Yep. And one of his weapons was what in tactics was used by samurai and had an Iaido ability.
Mm-hmm.
That being um, Chirishi Raiden. Um, and of course the other one is called Ninja Knife,
Yeah.
which is described as acting like a shield. So, and yes, he does have Arise and Holy, but I don't think that's enough to give him White Mage.
Mm-mm. That's why I said. That's why I went with Blue Mage because a lot of his abilities lean toward that, especially with just Thousand Needles alone.
Mm-hmm. And
And Sight Unseeing, and I have no idea what that is.
Sight Unseeing lets you reduce an enemy's health, but you can only use it when you're blind, which is definitely the kind of weird, quirky ass setup that would be seen for a blue mage.
So it's basically blind sight.
Mm-mm.
But I do agree with the samurai bit.
Yeah. I was tempted to give him Spirit Master because of Stamp, but no.
Nah. I still remember that Spirit Master motherfucker.
You're never letting me live that down, are you?
Never! Oh, that was a good time, though.
Yep. But while we aren't tackling the OG license board, I do think we can look at the 12 jobs that were in International Zodiac Job System and the Zodiac Age, and see what their equivalents would be for some of them, because some of them are going to be pretty obvious. Others, a little bit less so.
Mm-hmm.
So
pull up the jobs, but it keeps directing me to another page.
So Ares being white mage, just white mage.
Yep. Ares is white mage. Taurus is Ulan. Focuses on spears. So Dragoon, perhaps. Let me take a look at the thing proper.
So
let me see here. Taurus is one of 12 R sites originally manifest in the hands of machinists. Bezeruria Bonanza.
So let's. Okay, first we have. Let's see. Spears, Dragon Whisker. That basically especially spears, heavy armor, accessories, ribbon. Some black magic. Then let's see. Achilles, Bone Crusher, Wither, Expose. I'd say Taurus is Dragoon, Black Mage, and
Knight.
Yep.
Knight. Definitely.
Which means I'm gonna look at the FF12 white mage to see if there's anything I should note on that front. Let's see. Rods, mystic armor, white magic, and green magic.
Great swords? What? Fucking great swords?
A couple of them. Okay.
Yeah. I was like, whoa, great swords? So I'm thinking this should not be overlooked because let me see here. Mystic armor.
I'd say white mage is the obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
But also, yeah, a fair few have Soul Eater for some reason. But given some of what we see here, let's see. Talking about defensive mages, obviously.
I was like, I can't say paladin because they don't have the armor or anything to do that, and a lot of their abilities are offensive rather than defensive.
Yeah.
So
I'm thinking and not Scholar, but Ravager.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Gemini, it's Machinist.
Lots of guns.
Let's see. Measures. A little bit of
Hand
time.
grenades.
Mm-mm.
And bombs. Okay, it's Caleb.
So,
Time magic and very little green magic, but it's there.
I'd say Sniper.
Gambler, because guild toss.
Um, Guild Toss is a merchant thing in Legend Edition.
Oh. Whoops. I had things switched around.
Mm-hmm.
I stand corrected.
Engineer.
Yep.
And Merchant.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Then
Okay,
Cancer,
that's-
which is referred to as Red Battle Mage.
Oh, this is going to be fun. Let's see here. Lots of swords, mostly great swords, maces, mystic armor, shields, heavy armor.
So, I'd say
And the ability to equip ribbons, which is like the most broken piece of armor
Yeah.
in any game.
though everybody seems to get ribbon in some form.
Mhm.
I'd say, given that maces are enhanced by magic, Magic Knight.
Mhm.
Uh,
They got white magic, black magic, time magic, green magic, and arcane magic.
Yep. So arcane magic is just Dark, Darkra, Darka, Death, and Ardor. Oh. I'd say Scholar, Black and White.
Mhm.
And for the third one, let's see the license. Let me see the license list again.
While it can use heavier weapons, the armor is on the lighter side. Despite having the ability to equip heavy armor.
Let me see. Um, given Spellbreaker, I'm thinking the third one should be Berserker.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say Fencer, but I'm like, no, none of this fits.
Mm-hmm. So,
Especially because this particular one doesn't have the physical abilities to compensate for that.
mm-hmm. So with Leo we have Knight. So let's get Knight out of the way first.
I like swords, especially all the swords and some of the great swords, including the legendary one. This is definitely the I like swords build.
Yep. Paladin.
And Sanguine Shield. Soul Eater, First Aid, Infuse, Revive, Sight Unseen, and Telekinesis. I don't see Paladin, if I'm being honest.
Sentinel.
Sentinel, yes, I can definitely go with that. I was about to say Paladin, I don't see.
Yeah, Sentinel, and since I don't see this one doing a lot of multi-target attacking, I would add in Fencer.
Yep. I was about to say definitely good for that.
Let's see, Virgo gets Monk.
Focusing on pole arms, huh?
Which,
Well, just poles in general.
yeah, as
Extra
somebody,
long sticks.
yep, and because of the way weapons work, poles are actually very powerful because they use your physical attack and target the enemy's magic defense.
Yep. So, judging from that, they have access to poles. They are lighter on the armor side of things, so they're definitely DPS. Got white magic, so white mage, for sure.
So
We have a white monk.
Yep.
Literally in this case.
So Monk and White Mage definitely, and I'd say
given the techniques, because they do have Bone Crusher, I would say Knight.
Yeah. I was gonna go with either Knight or Dragoon.
I was about to say Knight seems. I'm leaning more toward Knight just because of all the debilitating techniques they get.
That I could see. So then we have Libra, the Time Battle Mage.
Now that's an interesting thing. A range tank, apparently, given the fact that it uses crossbows, swords, and heavy armor.
So, Sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmic Mage.
Yep. Let's see. Charge. Addle. While it would be tempting to go with Knight again, I don't see it.
No, a lot of its debuffs would be covered by... A lot of those kind of debuffs would be covered by Sniper. I do, on the other hand, think we can revisit Illusionist.
That I can see.
Especially since Illusionist is really good at tactical fuckery.
Are you coining that term?
No. Okay, Foebreaker. That's a name. That's a name.
Oh hell yeah, I'm down. Let's go. Axes and hammers. and hand grenades. That's a hell of a thing.
Okay.
Berserker, right out of the gate. No fucking way.
Berserker. Let's see.
Just imagine a brute from like Halo 3 coming at you with 2 freaking plasma grenades.
Oh, that's even more terrifying than when the grunts do it. I'm thinking.
Especially given the gravity hammer that they have.
Yeah. Because of the fact that it has the break techniques, I think Knight is also has to be there.
Definitely apt. I can agree with that.
And while it can get the Genji gear, I don't think I'm going with Samurai.
No.
No, I think it's got to be fencer.
Okay, I can definitely see that. I would have gone a little weird and gone with weapon master, considering
Weapon master
the.
might be a better shot.
Yeah, I was about to say, considering what this class can do,
Yep.
or what this zodiac can do.
So then Sagittarius, which has the archer job, a little on the nose.
Yeah, I'll say, all bows, light armor, with some heavy armor in there.
So
Why? I don't
sniper,
know.
dynamo.
Has white magic. Yep. Um. Let me see here. Has night abilities. But I'm gonna go out on a limb. Blue mage.
Yep. I can go with that. Then Capricorn, which is our good old black mage. So black magic.
Black mage that uses hand grenades. That's awesome.
I cast napalm.
Oh god, when we get to 15, I can only imagine what we're gonna do with the magic system, because you're basically making magic hand grenades.
Well, we already have that system in here.
Oh god, imagine the fuckery you could do with that.
Like, Elemancy is in the core book.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we clearly have black mage.
Yep. Black.
That's a given.
So, given that it talks about being able to manipulate elemental weaknesses, Spirit Master.
I mean, I agree with it, but I'm still mad. Okay, swiftness, spellbound, serenity, remedy lore. This might sound crazy, but does medic have ways to remove status ailments?
Let me check.
Let me double check actually, because I got the book open. I just need to. Will you go open up a library computer?
Let's see.
Medic, actually, right next to it, because I was looking over mediator for when we were talking
It
about.
does at third circle. Or rather, you can delay negative conditions at third circle.
Apt, but I'm not sure this applies.
So, yeah, medic wouldn't be applicable. What I think would possibly be applicable is Arcanist.
No, that's something we haven't used yet.
Yeah, Arcanist all about curses and all about again, tactical fuckery.
Yes.
So Aquarius has Bushi.
The Bushi job, aka the would-be ninja in this case.
Yep. So Samurai is definitely one. Especially since they start out being able to use katanas.
Blue mage. Again.
I'm thinking Samurai, Blue Mage, and Ninja.
I can go with that. I still don't hate it as much as Shikari.
Speaking of which...
I had to lead into it because it was right there. Alrighty, so the license equipment list says daggers, guns, ninja swords, lighter armor. Good lord, this mixes just about damn near everything from Bushi.
Yep. So I do think we have to revisit Ninja.
Yep.
Oh,
That is not even in question for me.
I'd say Dynamo as well.
Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. But with the mixture of Blue Mage, Knight, Medic, and other abilities, this last one's going to be a little bit of a tough one.
Mm-mm.
Since Bushi is all over the fucking place.
Yeah, I'd say given some of the potion lore, I'm thinking Chemist.
I can go with that. And some of the item lore, because looking at it, it has a lot of on the item lore side.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the espers, obviously unlocking an esper is a specific license that ends up shifting about. So once it's unlocked for somebody, it's not going to be on that spot on the board for other people. So what I think we can do is nail down what would be, look at the espers that are there and what would be our equivalents.
Alright, so starting from the top, just going
Let
here
me
from the level 1 espers down. I
let
can link you the
me
page, I've
look.
got to it.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so let's see.
His ultimate, so the first on the list looks like Belius, or Various.
Ooh, Ifrit.
Yep, ultimate attack is Hellfire, so that's not even in question.
Yep.
Next is Mateus. Fuck
Oh,
that guy.
actually, the next one I'm looking on the list is Chaos.
Chaos. I was just going down below that little box with the signs of light and darkness.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Chaos, Renew, Whirlwind, and Tornado.
Garuda.
Lots of wind. Yep.
So Zalera.
Valera the Death Seraph. Curious that it has Cure, Warp, and Death.
Let's see, we don't have an equivalent that would. So I don't have Warp. Cure and as far as Cure and Death, that's their own thing. I would say with Zalera, let me
Yeah, I'm thinking about it too.
Diablos.
Let me see. Oh, I'm even looking in the wrong spot. I was going to the Magicite stuff. But I can see it. Zeromus. Fuck that guy too.
Mm-mm.
It has Vegeta's Big Bang attack, apparently. So that's where he copped it from.
Let's see. So Zeromus' spell is all about gravity, which obviously I don't have. So, based on what I'm seeing with Zeromus, I'm honestly, I think Eden might be the best call. It is not. It's not a 1-to-1, but it's close enough.
Yeah.
Um, Hashimal, that's we're back to the easy ones. That is Titan.
Ashral. Yep.
Um, Ultima is Alexander.
Oh, did I miss something? Oh, dang, I did. It's formatted weird on the wiki.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
Exodus, described as Aether. Attacks with
I'd
Comet
say
and Meteor.
I'd say Eden again.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, Kukulin. Who looks like he should be a the cleanest looking Nurgle demon. Hades.
Mm-hmm.
How can I not see that and see a great unclean one with his design?
Yeah.
Even smiling like one, because remember, Papa Nurgle loves you.
Yeah, no.
But let's see, Shemazai, whose element is described as soul. Diablos.
Mm-hmm. A Dramalek. Ramu. Because Judgment Bolt.
Yep. Let's see, Famfrit.
Leviathan.
Yep.
Tsunami. Leviathan, Leviathan. Now we get to Mateus.
Shiva.
Yep. Zodiark. Zodiark can no longer cast Flare, but can cast Renew and Haska.
Um, Zodiac gets Bahamut.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look at the way quickening worked.
Quickenings in the original version
Mm-mm.
is a term for the limit break system in Final Fantasy XII and its sequel, Revenant Wings. Quickenings use a new system over previous limit break systems involving real-time input of button commands, requiring fast reflexes to chain together attacks before a timer depletes.
Yeah. So, if I'm being honest, when it comes to the way quickenings work, aside from the fact that Uber attacks aren't really a thing that we do with limit breaks.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that it's multiplying the max HP, not HP, but max MP in order to get the levels of quickenings.
Yep.
Uh, I think we already have an equivalent setup with skill chain and TP.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's all that necessary to add in the whole quickening setup, especially since it is contextual based on button inputs
Yeah.
and semi-randomized. semi-randomized, and ultimately having a uber spell at the end of them. But for the final bit of it, we are going to jump a bit into Revenant Wings.
A game I know very little about.
Mhm. It is doing a simplified approach, likely because it was on the DS.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and instead of everybody being able to do just about anything, you do have more defined approaches with classes. Uh, you did have you did quickenings were more similar to limit breaks in traditional approaches. And when it comes to the larger amounts of espers and revenant wings, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no.
Especially since a lot of the espers are rejiggered enemies, doing the whole enemies as ally thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and just the way that it's set up, I feel like the Ring of Pacts and all that would be much better served with probably with a with someone picking Summoner.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm being honest, the way this thing works with the Ring of Pacts and the like, I feel that system is better served for in a Mega 10 like game than
Yep.
in Legend Edition. Okay, why is loading this link taking so much? Anyway, I think we can visit some of the um, new characters that are exclusive to Revenant Wings. Starting with Liud. Who This introduced the Aegil race, which I do have in Ultimania.
Which is weird considering I don't even have that in Nestilon. It's still in development, so they might get in there in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Might.
Uh,
Especially and the fail Vera.
yep. So I'd say Dragoon is one that he's got. Uh, I'd also say Paladin.
The group leader in command of the Esper troop of zone. He's a flying unit. Yeah, Dragoon.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, his job is Dragoon.
Yep.
Let me see. Lancet, yep, that's Dragoon. That's Banishka.
And given some of the party effects that he has, I would say probably I was gonna say general, but I'm not quite sure. No, I think it should be Squire.
Hmm.
And as far as class, it's definitely warrior.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's see. Then kites.
He has the trappings of a mage, but let's see him in his gameplay. Oh, black mage. Like, right out of the gate.
Yep.
His ultimate weapon is the Zeus Mace, or Mjolnir.
I'd say.
Job cast class black. It even says black mage right there.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say black mage, um, ravager,
Mm-hmm.
and given the whole randomness of his quickening, sage.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely a definitely a mage class.
That goes without saying.
Uh, let's see, Philo. Let's see. A flying which uses a flying surfboard and traps. So I'd say um, and especially given the quickening, dynamo.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's because of the traps, I'm thinking illusionist.
Mm-hmm.
And Cosmic Mage, especially given how she likes to weaponize attack speed.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, I got nothing for this one. This is new to me.
Yep. Uh, Still going with a mage for class.
Yeah.
And for oh god, this guy. Bagaman.
Bakamnon.
Okay, race is Banga, obviously.
It says his job class is Dark Knight, which I can go with.
Mm-mm.
Bad breath. Holy cow.
He does always come off as an unpleasant person, but given his weird ass weapon, I'd say Weapon Master is one to go with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is
like
basically
freaking...
is basically a buzzsaw on a stick. Uh, Dark Knight, I can see, and Blue Mage,
Yep. I'm not even
and
gonna argue that one.
I think we should go with Adept.
Yep.
But it is somewhat amusing that it was there was kind of off and on about whether or not it was going to be a sequel or its own thing. Um, I think as a follow-up to 12, it works fine, since you have Vaughn essentially setting himself more into being a sky pirate. And
might have to explore this one later because again, I've never played it.
Yep.
Not because I didn't want to, but because this shit was hard to find even when it did come out.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to deny that for a moment. But we have some interesting results here.
Probably the most interesting I've seen of these streams that we've done.
Yeah, I will admit doing the characters is kind of hard, and it to me this was another demonstration of, if you're gonna do this sort of freeform character building, I don't really think you should do defined characters while also going freeform. I remember around this time there was a narrative about how defined classes was too limiting, which I always found utterly ridiculous. Like it always struck me as odd. This idea that you're too limited in terms of characters, and I even see this nowadays with people trying to diminish the idea of character classes in TTRPGs.
Yep.
Now, personally, I've taken the approach of it is all in execution. If it is executed well, you don't have this problem. If it is executed poorly, you do have this problem.
Yeah.
And something when I see this argument with certain games, I laugh because these are the same people I've seen try to defend having the martial character be Babby's first character.
Yeah.
They know who they are, and they know what they did. But that being said, when we come back to this series in about 2 weeks, we'll be dipping into the FF13 trilogy. I will probably end up making some comments that some people are not going to like. When does that stop me? And I will note for that one, we are going to be covering 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns. I do not see enough of a reason to separate the three of them.
Of course not.
Much like how we didn't separate 10 and 10-2, even though some of the people in the temple wish we did. However, when we come back here next Sunday, we will be continuing Reflections of Gaia. And after a significant amount of build-up, we're finally delving into the TTRPG side of things. Strap in, because it is going to be an interesting one. This is where you're going to see how some people have complained that it's too complicated. I just laugh at that statement. And you're also going to see why I reacted so vociferously when William SRD compared it to Imperium Maledictum. But I will note later tonight there will be an emergency episode of The Valley of the Judged, as Sizer and I are going to be delving into the recent playtest release for 7th Sea. So, keep an eye out for that. But until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra. I am your gaming monk. Stay fucking frosty, everybody.
See you on the trail.